I'm very happy to welcome Congressman Devin Nunes to the podcast. Welcome, Congressman Nunes. Thanks for joining me. I appreciate it. We are now, 2 months, I guess, into the Biden administration. We warned before the election that it would be bad news for America if these dudes came in. They're in. Have they delivered, you may say, the goods in terms of beginning the harm that we warned they would do to the country?
Well, they're in the process of it, Dinesh, and thanks for having me on the show. I was joking with you before this. The last time I was supposed to be on, you had that major power outage all across Texas. So I'm glad you got fixed up and you're going again. At least, but I can say at least you're not in California. That's where I'm coming to you from now. The way that I look at this, if there's any surprises, maybe we'll go with that first. The big surprise is that Biden is clearly not all there. And I think we knew that in the campaign, but I don't believe we knew it was going to be this bad to where they're trotting him out once a day, maybe once a day, 4 to 5 days a week. Looks like he can't even travel. He can't even take a question from their own press department, right? So 95% of the media, you've covered this many times, but I've upped it from 90 to 95% is wholly owned by the socialist democratic apparatus. So Biden's cognitive situation is alarming. I also, the aftermath of the riots on January 6th at the Capitol are also alarming because it continues this two-tiered justice system. We had 5 years of corruption of the Department of Justice, the FBI, targeting of Republicans by those institutions with, dirty opposition research. And then you transfer to the Antifa, BLM riots and fires all over the country. And you sit there and you wonder, well, how do we lose this election like this? Well, it's because the social media companies are taking 95% of the content, they're running it through a filter, which is your cell phone, and they're poisoning the hell out of our citizenry. So, the good news is, if there's a lining in this, is 47% of America, they know this, they understand this, and they don't care what the media and the social media companies are saying. But the challenge we have is trying to reach that 5 to 10% in the middle, those average Americans who probably aren't going to tune into your show. They're not going to watch Fox News. And that's the challenge for us, I think, moving forward, Dinesh.
You've actually touched on all the different topics I want to cover. So I want to zoom into some of the things you said in a little more detail. Let's start with Biden. Now, the Democrats are often talking about how Republicans pose a threat to democracy because we're trying to supposedly suppress the vote and do this and do that. Now, it strikes me that if Biden is, as you say, not all there, we have a real problem with democracy here because Biden was the guy who was elected. Now, everyone knows that Biden can hire a staff and they can advise him. But if he's not directing them, but they are directing him, then we have an unelected group of people that the American people did not sign up for, who are making the critical decisions. And you may say Biden is just riding in the canoe, but he's not the one manning the oars.
Yeah, I actually say sometimes that Biden is an avatar. So, and so is Harris, by the way. What this really is this is Obama's third term. If you look at all the people that were promoted in this administration and that have high level positions, a large percentage of them are actually Russia hoaxers. They're people that were in deep, that were peddling the Steele dossier around to the media and to other my colleagues and the American people. All of these Obama people are back. So, and then you have, I think, another thing that is of interest now. I didn't think anything of it when the Obamas kept a home, a half a mile from the White House. Although when you think back to it, that is unusual. I'm not aware of any president in my lifetime that didn't, Ronald Reagan went back to California. George W. Bush went to Texas. Jimmy Carter, I think, went to Georgia. So it's a little odd that you would get a house a half mile from the White House. Now, I only know what the fake news media says, so I can't tell you that it's true or not. But I'm guessing this is not something they would lie about, and that is that Obama's kept a team there in Washington, D.C., and now you effectively have his team running the show. What's interesting is that Obama never supported Biden. It wasn't until he was actually supporting, well, and I say not publicly, but all of his people, all the operatives that are Obama people, they were behind Kamala Harris, who I'm very familiar with her. She was our senator. She was attorney general before that, district attorney of San Francisco. We have a Politburo system here in California. Now, that system has been transferred over to the federal level now almost in full. And that is, so Harris really never had to run for office. She was never challenged at any of the positions she ran for. She essentially just annihilated the opposition through political maneuvers behind the scenes, and then was on the ballot. Yes, you know, the fake news media will criticize me if I don't clarify this completely. But the point is that she had essentially nominal or virtually unfunded opposition on the Democratic side. And of course, once you make it through a primary in the county or city of San Francisco or the state of California, it doesn't matter if the Republican has $500 million. She was going to win. So
I think,
if you remember,
sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, just to kind of finish this thought, Dinesh, she was in 10th place, last place in the Iowa polling before the primary. And that was because there was only 10 people. So she was the only person that she was dead last despite having all this money in the primary. So she dropped out. A few months later, the Obama team comes in. If you remember, Buttigieg was out, and like 4 or 5 people were eliminated from the scene, behind the scenes, all in one weekend. On Friday, they were saying, we're going all the way. You know, Bernie Sanders is in first, but I'm going to challenge him. Well, by Monday, they were all gone. It was basically Bernie and Biden, and they propped up Biden as an avatar, even though the Obamas and everybody else have to know that Biden is half the man he once was, or even less.
I think Obama was quoted saying not long ago that it would be kind of cool if he could be the decision maker, but not necessarily have all the titles. In other words, if he could be a sort of ventriloquist who could operate through other people. And so this seems to corroborate what you're saying about the regime we're living under now.